All right, Lions fans, this is your guy. I'm not a Lions fan, but I got another video for you. Excuse me. I want to continue on Adrian Peterson signing and actually talk about the significance of it. I On the last video, I said that um, my guy David Blau was cut, as well as Isaac Nada and Bo Benchwall. Now, all three got re-signed. Well, not re-signed, but signed to the practice squad, which is great. They don't take up the 53, but they still can move up the ranks. Now, if I want to say something about Adrian Peterson, or continue about Adrian Peterson, what Adrian Peterson brings to the Lions, of course, I'm on a rant of a Super Bowl or nothing, type deal. Give me a Super Bowl, NFC title game, Super Bowl. I can care less about the division. If the sites is for the players from the organization from top to bottom, if the sites is to make the playoffs, this is going to be a losing franchise forever. The reason why I think the Adrian Peterson deal, even though it's a 1 year, type deal, I could care less about his stats or what he did last year, year before, and what he planned to do this year. Right? None of that matters to me. My job, my thing is, how do you complement this offense? And not in what role that you did when you was with Bevel, when you was in Minnesota. It's a totally different Bevel, and it's a totally different Adrian Peterson. So they're gonna have to mesh that with where they are, type deal. So now you're asking Adrian Peterson to be a head guy, an IQ guy, versus just raw talent. Okay, so he fits this team perfectly in that regard. What I mean by that, if it's Super Bowl or bust for me, then I need as much as that Super Bowl plateau, type deal, players, personnel that I can get, that I can find, that has who done all the personal accolades and all that good stuff. But this is one thing that Adrian Peterson does for the Lions offense, particularly the offensive line. He immediately makes the offensive line better. Now, how does he make? Excuse me. How does a running back make the offensive line better? As an offensive lineman, there's nothing greater than to move the pile or to block for someone you respect. Now, no disrespect to LeGarrette Blount or C.J. Anderson or whoever else that they wanted to bring in. None of them have the resume that Adrian Peterson has. Okay, we could say that he's a Hall of Famer. So that is nothing like playing for or playing with a person that you respect. It brings the best out of you, unless they're like if they're gonna be condescending, if they're a jerk or something like that. Then of course you really don't really don't want to have too much dealing with them. But what he does for this offensive line, he makes all the rookies that much better. All the 1 year players, all the young players, and the whole offensive line is the oldest one on the offensive line. I believe is Taylor Decker, or maybe Joe Dahl, one of the two. But they got pretty much a young offensive line. Adrian Peterson makes the offensive line because he can tell them how he wants it to be. So in other words, he's like another coach to the offensive line coach, another coach to Bevel. He just a guy that you don't have to teach how to position himself, how to be, to use himself in sense of being a complement to the offense. Now, if he makes the offensive line better, the offensive line makes Stafford better. Once again, Stafford does not have to be the guy I said leader in prior videos. He don't have to be the leader, and what I meant by leader, he does not have to carry the team. The team is finally has been made up with the personnel that it has been accumulating for the last couple of years, a few years, that is in position to carry Matthew Stafford. Now, somebody may say, like, well, Adrian Peterson, when he comes in the game, people immediately know they're going to run. Well, then that's a great deal. And once again, I've been saying this for quite some time that the pass sets up the run for the Lions. The pass sets up. Look at the Lions when they had Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders set up the pass, correct? But you knew he was going to run the ball. You knew he was going to run the ball, so you stacked the box, right? That opened up for the pass, right? If you know Adrian Peterson going to come in, you're going to stack the box or you're going to play the run. Look at the Lions offense. If you stack the run, you got, let's say like if you run a two tight end set. So like if you have Jesse James and Hawkinson with Adrian Peterson in the back. I'm just saying just those three as an option. You have a guy, Jesse James, that possibly can be more of a blocker, that it can flank out if you need him to. But TJ Hawkinson is the wild card. Because he can block as well as he can go downfield. You don't know what the play call is going to be. And never mind the receivers. I don't know if you go run through wide receiver set with that or something like that. I'm just saying that the versatility, the options that you have on offense to do with the guy that the league has to respect still, based upon what he did in Washington. Now, Washington is not Detroit, and what I mean by that is Detroit has even without Stafford, they have a well-respected offense. So if you add a guy who still demands respect, no disrespect, C.J. Anderson and LeGarrette Blount does not demand that type of respect. So you could stack the box. You could stack it. Play the run. You know when they're in the game, you know they automatically. So even if you know Adrian Peterson is going to run the ball, you still have to that grown man respect. You know, that not that he can burst one or he can break one or that he can get you 10 yards. Not that kind of respect. It's the respect that you can't treat him any kind of way. He's still an alpha dog. You know what I mean? And he plays like he has something to prove, so to speak. And taking for example, let me see who can I could use as a comparison. Okay, look at Michael Jordan when he went to Washington Wizards. When when he was playing for them. Was he the Michael of Chicago? No. But you still gotta respect him because his name is still what it is. And you're not gonna be all in all like he's jumping in the air like Michael Jordan, but you still gotta respect him. And if you didn't, he made you pay. So the Lions could play it one or two ways. If they're going to respect Adrian Peterson, you play off of it. If they're going to disrespect Adrian Peterson, you play off of it. You still got two young little thoroughbreds, or maybe possibly three, with Ty Johnson. And if you want to add a fourth one in Bo, they all going to benefit from Adrian Peterson being on the team. Like I said, the team got, just by having him on the team, he don't have to produce 4 yards a carry. He don't have to get over he don't have to get 1,000 yards. He does not have to be the focal point of the rushing attack. What he does do, instead of looking at it, okay, if you're opposing offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator, and you approaching the Lions, you're looking at Matthew Stafford, and the team goes as he goes. Kenny Golladay is Kenny Golladay, yeah. Hawkinson, yeah. Marvin Jones, yeah. Amendola, yeah, they are like decent. They are like great players, but if you don't have nobody that can get them the ball, you're no good. The Lions did a good job, so with David Blau and Driscoll, they did somewhat of a good job with that. But it's not Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford is a 10-year vet. He's seen a lot of things. It's a different deal than the guys that are first 2 years in the league or something like that. So I say take that into account with Adrian Peterson. So if if the defensive coordinator want to play that game like, well, Adrian Peterson going to run the ball. Okay, stop it. Stop it. Adrian Peterson makes the defense. I mean, our offensive line that much of a dog. He the how can I say it? Our offensive line. I'm gonna say never. The Lions' offensive line has never had like this. I'm going to hit you first mentality. When you have a guy who demands that, maybe not even words, just like how he approaches the game, or how he practices, or whatever, his demeanor, whatever the case may be, he brings that. He has a presence in the room. That's why the opponent is going to respect him still. He still has a presence in the room. That's what Michael Jordan had when he stepped down from the general manager spot and started playing for the Wizards. He still had a presence in the room that demands that respect. So Adrian Peterson is just the same. You're gonna have to respect him because he still demand. It's not that if he's washed up or anything like that. Do other running backs, or no, do other defenders still respect him on that level, like he's the presence in the room level? Once again, you don't need him to have 1,000 yards. He makes from the excuse me. He makes everyone better from the offensive line to the young running backs. Never mind the receivers. Never mind the tight ends. He makes everybody better just by having a presence. You're not bringing a guy in who has some accomplishments. You're bringing a guy in who wants to go down as the leading rusher of all times. So he still has a goal that he wants to achieve, right? But not just that, he's a Hall of Famer. Okay, people say he's a Hall. Let's say it this way. You know how when we picked up LeGarrette Blount and he had his best year the year before he came here? Or he had a good year before he came here? You can say the same thing about Adrian Peterson. That could happen the exact same way.